newcomer will represent the GOP in the Missouri governor's race this fall. Good evening, I'm Katie Lang.
And I'm Jim Reek. Thanks for joining us. A few minutes ago, the AP declared Eric Greitens the winner of tonight's GOP primary election. With about 2/3 of the votes counted, he has about a 50,000 vote lead over his nearest challenger. That would be John Bruner. There's the numbers right there. Greitens with a 50,000 vote lead. Peter Kinder in third place. He'll finish in third place most likely. And Catherine Hanaway has already conceded. Once again, this is with about 2/3 of the vote counted. We have team coverage in the St. Louis area tonight, and we begin with KOMU8's Khaki Martin. She is live at the Bruner watch party.
I'm here at Catherine Hanaway's watch party, which is centrally located, but I've spent the last couple of hours at John Bruner's watch party just 10 minutes away in Frontenac. The room filled up with over 100 people, John Bruner supporters and family members, including 12 of Bruner's grandchildren. Bruner stopped by the party briefly around 8:30 p.m. to thank those who came out, but he will not reappear at the event until after the results were in. I spoke with Bruner earlier this afternoon and asked him what his next steps would be if he does not win tonight.
Oh, if you lose, well, I haven't given that a lot of thought at this point in time. It's all about keeping the fight going and keeping the opportunities going. But you know, the battles always go on.
I'm heading back over to Bruner's party now to get his reaction now that Greitens has officially cinched the Republican nomination. Reporting live from Brentwood, Khaki Martin, KOMU8 News.
Okay, thanks for that report.
We're going to continue the team coverage with KOMU8's Max Deke Knight, who is live in Chesterfield with Eric Greitens' campaign.
Guys, I'm live at Eric Greitens' watch party here in Chesterfield, and these supporters behind me are very excited, and for good reason. The AP, the Associated Press, has called this race as a Greitens victory. The mood in this room has changed from one of nervous excitement early on to one that is anticipating a victory speech. Now, more than 200 people in this room have been chanting, "Eric, Eric," and they are waiting for a victory speech. His campaign's co-chairman, David Steelman, told me earlier this evening that people are frustrated with the decisions of career politicians.
If and when Eric Greitens wins this primary, it will be a gift for the people of Missouri and for this state and for this country. Eric Greitens, I believe, will prove to be the most transformational governor since Ronald Reagan was elected in California.
Now, Mr. Greitens has yet to make an appearance yet in this room, despite the rally cries for more than an hour, but that should change very shortly as he has been announced the winner of the Republican primary for the state of Missouri. Reporting live in Chesterfield, Max Deke Knight, KOMU8 News.
All right, Max, thank you very much. And once again, we continue our live team coverage of the Republican candidates running for governor.
Next is KOMU8's Adam Pressler. He's live in Brentwood at the Drury Inn with Catherine Hanaway's campaign. Adam?
Now, as you can see behind me, the members of the Hanaway watch party are starting to exit. Just a moment ago, she did announce that she called Eric Greitens and has conceded. Now, in the room just off to my other side, she said that there was, quote, a tidal wave of outsiders who have impacted the Missouri gubernatorial election as well as the presidential election this year. As people are leaving, they do seem upset, but one person did tell me that they were excited to work with the Republican Party of Missouri and push forward in this election. Reporting live, Adam Pressler, KOMU8 News.
Adam, thank you very much. Of course, 4 candidates in the GOP race, 4 candidates also in the Democratic race. Chris Koster, obviously the headliner because he is the Attorney General of Missouri. He has 79% of the vote, once again with 2/3 of the precincts reporting. And the other 2 candidates way behind, Charles Wheeler at 8% and Leonard Steinman II at 4%. About 30 minutes ago, Chris Koster got up at the podium and thanked his supporters. We have a picture from our affiliate KSDK in St. Louis of the Koster victory. He is now turning his attention to the November general election where he will face off against Eric Greitens. Columbia voters know all about Proposition 1.
Well, if passed, it would raise hotel taxes in order to fund a new terminal at the Columbia Regional Airport. We'll take a look at those numbers next. With 83% of the polls coming in, we have 67% voting yes, 33% voting no. KOMU8's Lauren Donovan joins us live from the watch party of the Proposition supporters on top of the Broadway Hotel. Lauren?
the results are coming in. And what we're finding out is that the yeses to Proposition 1 and the noes are nearly half of that. Where I am right now is actually a unique setting, as many in opposition to Proposition 1 are part of the hotel and lodging industry. Now, that industry would be taxed some extra 4 to 5% if Proposition 1 is voted yes. Opponents say the tax is unfairly placed on travelers to Columbia. The airport lacks the market for expansion, and the language would allow the funds to be used in projects not airport related. Proponents say airport passenger growth recently has been exponential. The airport in its current form fails to meet ADA standards, and it makes a bad first impression for visitors to mid-Missouri.
If you're a visitor coming to Columbia and you land at Columbia Regional Airport, you get off the plane, and what you see is 2 double wides.
The verbiage of the ordinance, they could take all the money and use it for whatever they want.
I spoke to Greg Steinhoff, one of the lead organizers for the Yes campaign, and what he told me was that he's very excited about the voter turnout and hopefully that Columbia can get a new airport. Reporting live from downtown Columbia, Lauren Donovan, KOMU 8 News.
Okay, thanks, Lauren. A sales tax measure is also on the ballot in Jefferson City. Voters there are being asked to renew a half-cent capital improvement sales tax, also known as Prop 1. With 100% of the results coming in, 79% of voters said yes, 21% said no. And
in the Callaway County Ambulance District tax, that is passing by a big margin tonight. We can take a look at those results. 78% yes, 22% no, and that is a final in Callaway County. We're following many other races around the state of Missouri. KOMU 8's Landon Burke is here in the studio to give us those numbers. Landon.
Okay. In the race for lieutenant governor, here are the Republican numbers. Let's see if we can cue up that graphic. Mike Parson is in the lead with 53% of the vote. Bev Randall's at 42% coming in second, and this is with 55% of the precincts coming in. On the Democrat side of the aisle, Russ Carnahan running away with this pretty early on, 76% of the vote, with Winston Apple coming in second place with 14% of the vote. Once again, that's with 48% of the precincts reporting. On to the race for Secretary of State on the Republican side of the aisle, John J. Ashcroft, 62%. Will Kraus with 34%, and that's with 55% of the votes coming in. For the Democrats, retired news anchor and reporter Robin Smith has 73% of the votes. Bill Clinton Young has 20% with 55% of the precincts coming in. And in the race for state treasurer for the Democrats, Judy Baker has 69% in first place. Pat Contreras has 31%. He's coming in second. That's with 53% of the precinct coming in thus far. I'll send it back to you guys at the desk. We'll have another update coming up in a moment.
Thanks, Landon. A heated debate in the Republican side of the race for Attorney General.
These two candidates have been sparring for months. The commercials have just been never ending. And you might say this is a pretty good surprise here with 53% of the precincts reporting. At last count, Josh Hawley had about 100,000 vote lead over Kurt Schaefer. Right now it's 61% to 39%. We have live team coverage of this race. We begin with KOMU 8's Lauren Barna. She is live at the Hawley Watch Party in Springfield. Lauren.
Here in Springfield, it's no secret that everyone is very excited about his success in this race. He's joined by about 100 family and friends tonight. Everyone told me they're extremely thankful to be here, and they had no doubts that he could win this race. Although he's not originally from Springfield, his parents have lived here for the majority of his adult life. And there's also been a lot of controversy surrounding fellow Republican Attorney General candidate Kurt Schaefer's attack ads on Hawley. But Hawley says despite the conflict, he's happy and hopes the public will be able to tell that he's the right candidate.
Well, I mean, it's exciting to see the people of Missouri making their choice and opting for a conservative outsider. And I think the contrast in the general election is going to be pretty clear. It's going to be between the same old politics in Jefferson City as usual, or a new approach that puts the people of Missouri and their liberties first.
I think at this point we're waiting for Hawley's his acceptance speech, or rather a thank you to everyone, but we haven't heard that yet. So everyone here is waiting for those final results to come in. I'm not sure that they have hit Springfield yet, but I will be here when they do. Reporting live from Springfield, Lauren Barnes, KOMU 8 News.
Thanks, Lauren. An update for you in St. Louis. Senator Kurt Schaefer has conceded. His watch party was at the Drury Inn at Forest Park. Media wasn't allowed inside, and so far his supporters haven't wanted to go on camera to talk about their candidate. We have a reporter there awaiting Schaefer's comments. We'll have that live tomorrow morning on KOMU 8 News Today. And here's a look at the numbers for the Democratic candidates for Attorney General. Jake Zimmerman, who's been the St. Louis County assessor over the last few years, is coming in with 48% of the vote. He's trailing Teresa Hensley, who has 52% of the vote. That's with 53% of the districts reporting.
The Democratic side is much closer
That's
than
right.
the GOP side there in the Attorney General's race. Keep an eye at the bottom of your screen for all of the results, plus you can go to KOMU.com to see the results as well.
It was a rainy start to our election day. Let's send it over to Kenton to see if any more of that is on the way.
Katie, thank you very much. It certainly was. It was a rainy end to July. July, actually, the third wettest July on record in 125 years. And if we were to add the first 2 days in August, it would have been the wettest July of all time on records. Because you can see in the first 2 days here of August, we've seen about 3.5 inches at Columbia Regional Airport, just about an inch on MU's campus. And we're looking at 4.5 inches at Jeff City, Fulton, otherwise getting closer to 5 inches. And right now, looking at live Doppler radar, more showers and thunderstorms moving through. That storm in Morgan County headed towards Gravois Mills and Eldon as well. Otherwise, that severe thunderstorm warning is just south of Camden County out of our viewing area. Otherwise, we do have an aerial flood warning in that bright green, the faded green over towards St. Louis. That is a flash flood watch in effect where the most rain is expected to fall in the next 24 hours. But some of us are going to expect that overnight tonight. I'll track that, plus take a look at our next heat wave. It's all coming up after the break.
2 teens shot in Columbia in the last week. We'll have reaction from neighbors.
KOMU 8 News Smart Decision